Blackwood Forest, a name whispered with fear and dread. Locals told tales, stories of a path that snaked through the woods. Never traveled by daylight, some said it was cursed, others haunted, all agreed. It was a place of darkness. The path was ancient, worn by time and sorrow. It called to those drawn to the unknown, those brave or foolish enough to tempt fate. The forest held secrets, secrets whispered on the wind, secrets better left buried. Ethan scoffed at the stories, mere superstition. He craved the thrill of the unknown, the adrenaline rush of fear. His friends dared him, walk the path, alone, on the night of the full moon, a night when shadows danced, and legends came alive. He wouldn't admit it, but a shiver ran down his spine. The air grew cold, colder than it should be. He pushed the feeling aside. He wouldn't be deterred, not by silly stories, not by a chill in the air. This was his night. The woods were alive, every snap of a twig, every rustle of leaves, it sounded like footsteps following him. He quickened his pace, his heart pounded in his chest, a drumbeat of fear. The trees pressed in, suffocating him. The air grew heavy, difficult to breathe. The forest was toying with him, testing his resolve. He wouldn't break. He wouldn't give in to fear. He told himself it was just the woods, just the wind. But deep down, he knew. Something was wrong. A whisper, faint, indistinct. He stopped, held his breath, listened. There it was again, this time closer. A voice carried on the wind. It called his name, Ethan. A cold dread washed over him. He was not alone. He spun around, searching for the source of the voice. The trees seemed to mock him, their branches swaying as if clapping their hands. The whispers grew louder, surrounding him, closing in. He had to get out. Now! He ran, blinded by fear. The path seemed to stretch on forever. The whispers followed, taunting him, urging him forward. Then he saw it. A figure standing in the middle of the path, shrouded in shadow. Its eyes glowed an eerie red. He froze. His blood ran cold. The figure moved towards him, slowly, deliberately. Each step sent a jolt of terror through him. He couldn't breathe, couldn't scream. He was paralyzed, trapped by his own fear. Section 6. Fear's Grip. The figure stopped, just inches away. Ethan could feel its cold, putrid breath on his face. It reached out a hand, long, bony fingers tipped with claws. He closed his eyes, bracing for the end, but nothing happened. He opened his eyes. The figure was gone, vanished. He was alone. Or was he? The whispers started again, this time filled with laughter. Cruel, mocking laughter. He was going insane. He had to escape this nightmare. Section 7. A glimmer of hope. He stumbled forward, his mind racing, his body trembling. Then he saw it, a light, faint but growing stronger. Hope surged through him. He ran towards it, desperately clinging to the promise of safety. As he drew closer, he realized what it was, the edge of the forest. He had made it. He burst through the tree line, gasping for air, blinded by the sudden light of the moon. He had escaped the clutches of Blackwood Forest. Section 8. Lost and Found. He turned to look back. The forest stood silent, menacing, as if daring him to return. But the path was gone, vanished. He was safe. He had survived the night, but he would never be the same. He walked away, never looking back. The whispers followed him, fading with each step, until they were nothing but a distant memory. He had faced his fear and lived to tell the tale, but the forest held on to its secrets. Section 9. The Forest Remembers. The next day, Ethan told his friends about his experience. They laughed, dismissed it as a hallucination, a trick of the mind. But Ethan knew the truth. Blackwood Forest was real, and it was waiting. He never went back. But sometimes late at night, he could hear the whispers, calling his name, reminding him of the night he dared to enter the haunted path of Blackwood Forest, and the night the forest whispered back,